Yeah. I am, if I wasn't already lost, yeah, I'd just find new ways. It's like this whole timeline. It's like causality, correlation, coincidence, like the series of events and the order they happen, what I know, um, what I see, what I experience, what I feel in relation to events. It's like real and imagined perspective. I don't know. But everything falls within my ability to handle things, I guess. I mean, I choose to. I don't have to. I could do anything other, but no, I choose to. It's like, I, so, I mean, I keep going. I want to believe, and so I do. I'm not saying what, but I believe in a lot of things that don't make sense. Anybody else looking in wouldn't understand. They don't have to. I'm the only one that does. So it's like a cool little thing. It's like a trick. And I might just be deceiving myself. That's the thing. But that's a little bit of the fun of it, I guess. But I will be crushed. But that is part of it, I guess. Does it have to be part of it? Does it really? I don't know. But I did want to see something, so I might as well. So, yeah. Hair and stuff, so I wanted to see if I can do this without being too self-conscious, as though being self-conscious was anything that stopped me. Yeah. Just, yeah, loose. But, yeah, that works. It feels cooler, just temperature. It's like, wow, it's not on my neck. It's like, that's crazy. It's like getting a haircut all at once. I don't know about the hair thing. It is hot. It was hot this past summer. I don't even know. And it's like, wow. So it's a fun little. I like it, but whether I'll keep it or not, I don't know. I'll definitely have to get a haircut at some point, like an inch or something off or two. It's the original from. I never planned on growing my hair longer. Like I did at one time, but this was just a thing that happened on its own. Really, I never chose to grow my hair long. I just kept not getting it cut, and just as things happened, and things didn't happen. So it's like the hair is part of my journey. It's been with me for a while now. So, and same with not smoking and all that. It's part of it. It's all wrapped up. That story started probably in September of 2000. Yeah, that story did start in September of 2019, right around the time I got my last haircut, and I quit smoking. and I gave my lead or testimonial at the Carvel Club in Indianapolis on, nope, I gave that on October 6th of 2019, and I'd gotten a really bad cold or the flu or something, and I was losing my voice, and I was still smoking at the time, and I found I was asked to do it a month in advance, so I had a whole month to worry about it. It's like, and anyway, so with a month's notice for having to give this hour-long talk, telling my story in front of a room full of people, but at the time I didn't know how many it was going to be. And then I got sick for like a couple weeks. At least I remember it being like a couple weeks, and I was losing my voice, and I wasn't able to talk really well, or sing. Not that singing's ever a thing, but I was worried about, and I was still smoking at the time, about a pack a day, and I wanted to be sure that I'd be able to speak for this lead, telling my story, because I didn't want to agree to something and then not be able to fulfill on that agreement, or because part of it, ego and wanting to look good or whatever, and be a friend. For my part, somebody asked me to do something, and it's within my ability to do it, and it doesn't put me out too much, I can do that, and be like, yeah, I'm the guy that did that. So it's like almost like asking me to do me a favor. It's like, yeah, I can do myself a favor. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity to do myself a favor. Except that it's like something that's horribly stressful, and I don't want to do it. But it's good practice for me to tell my story in first person, up at a podium with a microphone. Oh my gosh. But I was getting sick, and I was losing my voice, and and I had been wanting to quit smoking for at least over a year or two. But you know how every person that smokes is like, oh, I'm going to quit, I'm going to quit, I want to quit, I want to quit. But I had actually, meant it. I was just, of course, maybe every smoker means it, but they just never do anything about it. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know what I was waiting for. An excuse to do what I wanted to do anyway. So the time was right, and it didn't seem like I was going to get any better of a time. So just September 28th, I don't think I took too many days leading up to decide. I just was like, okay, I'm going to be doing this now. And when is the least inconvenient or painful time to try to start? And so I just one day just decided, well, I'm just not going to buy anymore. And then when this runs out, of course, I have to finish every last one, because I owe it to the pack of cigarettes to finish them, obviously. I paid for them, so I have to finish it. I have no choice. So I did. And on September 27th, no, I guess it was 28th, was the actual, yeah. So on September 27th, I smoked my last cigarette, Marlboro Menthol Lights. Hopefully it's my last. And smoked my last cigarette, and I looked around, I couldn't find any more. So, and I timed it so I'd be going to sleep anyway, so I can start the withdrawal while asleep. The physical withdrawal. It doesn't help with everything else. And the next day I had work. I don't remember what day of the week it was, but, how do I get through a day of work without smoking? Well, working, I don't have to worry about it, but then I go on break, and I go out to my car where I smoke. That's what I do. How do I not smoke when I'm on break? Because that's what I do on break, is I smoke. I don't eat, and I don't like do anything else. So that morning, I took my first break. It must have been a 5 to 1:30 shift, because I remember I was out there, and I was looking in my car for a cigarette, obviously, just double checking, making sure I didn't have any. So I wanted to make sure I didn't have any, and I didn't want to accidentally drive to the nearest convenience store and buy a pack, just in case. So I wanted to make sure I didn't have any. And then I was just like, no, because I don't like to be late, and I don't like to be over, on my break. So it's like, once it gets too many minutes past, I can't make it there in time and get back and clock back in. So I'll just be stuck. I'll just have to deal with it, and I'll get over myself. But within a minute in my car, checking empty boxes, there weren't that many, but enough, like 3 or 4, I found one. An errant last cigarette that's got forgotten about or misplaced or in a box I just and I was like, dang it, here's a last cigarette, now I have to smoke it. And this is on September 28th. I have to, it's there. And I was like, dang it, I guess I'll have to put this off another day or so. I'll have to go get some more to keep me going for this day, because I found a cigarette, so I have to smoke it. There's no choice. And I was like, well, dang it, it sure is a good thing I didn't bring a lighter. And this car does not have a lighter, a cigarette thing. They don't come with those anymore, it seems like. So I was like, dang it, well, it's a good thing I don't have a lighter. Now I don't have to make the decision. I'll just, I just don't have to smoke it, and I'll just deal with it. And so I started looking around for a lighter to make sure I didn't have a lighter. And, because gotta have lighters around all the time, and just smokers have lighters, so like all over the place. And but I had made sure I didn't have a lighter until I found one, and I was like, dang it, I found a lighter, and it probably doesn't have fuel in it. Dang it, it's got fuel. Well, now it's like, I have to smoke it now. I've got a cigarette and a lighter that works. And I was just like, well, I was like crushed. Oh, well, that solves it. I, just destroyed that cigarette before I had too much more time to think about it. And that remedied. And then, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter. Just it's gone. And September 28th was the day I didn't smoke that last cigarette, and that choice was made. And to today, January 27th, 2021, and I haven't had a cigarette since. So that was my quit date for that. And no, it hasn't been. It hasn't been like awesomely awesome, and I still do miss smoking from time to time. But I know that's just neurochemical, and addiction. But I haven't regretted it. That's the thing. All those days not smoking were not like days like I wish I had been smoking this entire time. No, not smoking. I enjoy not smoking a lot more than smoking. That's the thing. It's worth it. It's worth it to me, for myself. It's my decision. No one can want it for me. And just go with it and make a decision and own it. Take responsibility. And it's like, yeah, if I'm unhappy with my own decision, well, I know exactly who to blame. So it's my life. I'm the only one that can live it. So I am much happier with my decision. I'm glad that whatever got me to over that moment of indecision, and just like, okay, and it was a little bit of a hurt, but I was glad that this hand just crushed instead of, you know, lighting or whatever. So that was my quitting smoking story, I guess. I have a coworker that recently just tried, and he made it to day 27 before he told me he got into an argument with his significant other, his girlfriend, or it's not his wife, but just his long-term girlfriend. And they got into an argument, so he got stressed out, so he smoked. And he told me about it, and I let him know, a little bit of on the side, just between him and me, before it got busy or anyone else was around, because not many other people know that, I don't know what the nature of the argument was, but if it has anything to do with like what I am familiar with, just because something doesn't happen or or go your way or anything like that, it's not like, oh, look at me, you're hurting my feelings or whatever, so I'm going to hurt me too. Or it's like, I'm going to get my revenge by hurting me. That'll show you. Watch me hurt me. I said it better, and that whole thing, and that it's not worth it. It's self-defeating. It doesn't help anything. It's a lose-lose. Everyone loses. And if you're using your own recovery or your own addiction to manipulate somebody else to feel guilty, well, that's a shame on you as well, the person that's doing that, because no one should use their own stuff, psychodrama, to it's like, oh, I better be extra nice to him. He's quitting smoking, or or else he'll get mad at me, and then he'll smoke, and then he'll be mad at me for. It's like, no, that guy, he owns his decision. His decision to smoke again. He can't say that it's her fault that he smoked. That's the thing that I was trying to get across to him. Was that it's not her fault that he smoked. No, he did that on his own because he thought it would get some reaction, or he was trying to get her to feel guilty, or who knows? I didn't ask. It's not my business. But I was trying to get across to him that it was very petty, and it was very childish, and much like a tantrum. And I didn't say it like that, but I was trying to get that across. And I don't know anything about relationships, and I'm giving like relationship advice, and he's older than me too, only by 15 years, maybe, I don't know. But I would call him a grown man, and which is kind of like, I don't know what that's about. Because I just don't consider myself much of anything in particular. Just, I'm here, but doing something. But it's quite atypical as far as like a human experience. It's something though. And it feels like an impersonation, like I'm doing my best impersonation of what I think people do, and I'm getting away with it. It's like, I try my best, and it's not so bad. I'm just getting better at thinking to myself better about myself, not beating myself up, forgiving myself all the things that I do not know, and all the perceptions that I misperceive, because I just don't know. I don't have I have incomplete information about so much. It's like, there again, it's like I don't have that easy button where it's like, I get to know everything that I should know in the moment, that I would want to know or think I would want to know. I know exactly what I need to know already, and it is enough to make my decisions. Any more would affect me one way, any less would affect me another way. Who knows? But exactly what I do know is what I get to work with, and it is enough. And so it's like I make my decisions to the best of my ability, given the information that I have at my disposal. And sometimes it's, I find out too late or too early, or I see things that aren't for my eyes, or, it's any number of things. It's like, oh, shoot, I wasn't supposed to see that. Or overhear some conversation that wasn't for me to hear, and then it might influence my understanding of something. And it's like, and it leads to miscommunication and misunderstanding. So dealing with people is complicated. So I try not to do it as much as possible. And that's probably a bad thing, but it's my survival strategy, kind of like self-preservation, but it will only work for so long, I think, because I will, and I've done it before. It's like that whole getting emotionally disconnected and just losing hope and in humanity, and just, that's what I did before in my early 20s. I was just checked out. It's like, fine, I'll just, I didn't know then what I know now about what that would lead to and how it would feel and where it would be like, and that emptiness and loneliness that you just can't get away from. And once you're there, everything's gone. There's just nothing left. But so it's like drinking myself to death. That's not a good solution. Not today. It was then, though I didn't know that's what was happening. But I didn't have to deal with people. I could just, drink, and I just, watch TV, play video games, watch movies, and pretend that was living. And I did other things too, but not so much until it was just drinking. Drinking for drinking for drinking for drinking. And, then it was just a chore to even wake up and do anything or go anywhere, because I'd just rather be drinking. Nowadays, it's like, I'd rather be alone. I'd rather be writing, or, I don't know. Yeah, it's falling apart. But anyway, so like I said about the whole timeline thing, like, when did stuff happen? When did I know what? When did I see what? When did I think what? When did I discover what? It's like, if you go back to some of my writing from September or October of 2020, it's like, yeah, my first suspicions were kind of like, even then, I was dancing around. It's like, whatever it was I noticed, it's like, oh, I was on the right track. I just didn't know it. And I still don't know exactly what I know, but I know something. But I'm just not sure what it is. But I'm sticking around, because one way or the other, I will find out. In a good way. So, I mean, The worst case scenario is that everything's imaginary and I've just made up everything and none of it's real and it's all just me believing what I want to believe and none of it's true. And the worst case scenario I can live with, and I'll just go away. So I don't like the worst case scenario, but that's what I will do. You know, if that is what is the thing to do, because I've misperceived, misunderstood, misconstrued, miscommunicated, just made mistakes. They're not mistakes that I can't walk away from. You know, I will learn from them, whatever it is I manage to learn from them. But I keep, you know, dealing with other people. I just don't know. So, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's just, there's too many things that I, it's like, but what about this? What about that? You know, it's like, so there's like too many things that were real. They were real. So I think I just need to breathe and just relax, and it's like, it'll make sense. I just need to, you know, just keep hanging on, just hold on, and, you know, this is just my little record of, like, you know, this is what I was doing, this is what I was thinking, and so I'm here. And I just can't communicate right now. And it is very frustrating, you know, not because I am angry or, you know, don't understand. It's just, you know, I'm being aware and giving space, and to the best of my ability, just being mindful, because I really don't know much about the person. You know, I know enough, but I know when I need my space, I need to be left to have my space, and it's just like, that's how it is. And other people, they can understand or they can not understand. But if they are too investigatory and insistent, then they just push me further away. So it's like when I've decided that I need to be left alone, you know, it's just like, I don't know. So respect. Respect, respect, respect. I guess that's the main word. Respecting individuality. And also with the, you know, with the autistic spectrum, it's like, I don't even know. Like, I'm on there somewhere, but I don't know where anybody else is either. But I think we're pretty dang close as far as communication. Because, you know, like the word I settled on was, I feel slightly out of step, out of phase, syncopated. But I think I'm really close, because I feel like I'm able to mirror or echo their thoughts and also connect really closely. Not able to read minds, but I'm able to sense. Because I can only just imagine, it's like, well, I feel this way. So So this is my little way of trying to stay connected. And I don't know if it's working or not, but it sure is helping me. January 27th. Let's see what happens. Hmm.